Hello, Eagle fans. Chris Hooks with the NCCU Sports Network as we continue to go one-on-one with all the assistant coaches here at North Carolina Central on the football side of things. Just to give you a chance to get to know these guys, today we're with TC Taylor. He's in charge of the quarterbacks here at North Carolina Central. TC, first of all, haven't really got the chance to really to talk to you a ton since you got here because you guys have been so busy. It's great to have you here and heard a lot of good things about you, so I can't wait to see the fruits of your labor out on this field. But first of all, how are things going here in the preseason?
It's going well, you know. Got the guys here in camp. Everybody's moving fast. That's the main thing. We want to, you know, preach move fast, move fast. You know, meetings been great. You know, the guys have been competing on a day-to-day basis. So I've been very, you know, proud and glad of the guys and how hard they're working.
You know, it's interesting. You kind of came into a good situation. You got two quarterbacks that can compete with anybody in the MEAC, so you got that to work with. That's got to be pretty good for you and for the young men that you have under you.
Yeah, it's a real unique situation at the quarterback position. I think I got two guys, you know, pushing each other, but they're friends on and off the field. That's the main thing with those two guys, you know. I spend a lot of time with them, you know, as being quarterbacks and stuff, you know, and Quinn might miss something, Malcolm there to pick him up, and vice versa. You know, Malcolm missed something, Quinn is there to pick him up. So, you know, I'm very pleased to coach those guys and how they've been working thus far in camp.
As a unit, offensively, how do you think we're looking at this point?
We're moving fast. You know, we're moving fast right now, and that's what, like I said, with what we do offensively, we want to, you know, we preach fast, line up fast, get the ball snapped fast, and with those quarterbacks, you know, get us in good situations, making the right reads, you know. And right now, you know, the run game's looking well. We got a few guys back there making a lot of plays, you know. Of course, Adrian Wilkins has been doing his thing at the receiver position, and Nccu'S transfer we got in here has really stepped up and, you know, provided some depth at the position.
And as we know, Coach, none of that's possible with this offense without the men up front.
I mean, you know, they're the engine to the car right now. You know, they came in, first of all, they put in a lot of work this summer. You know, we had them all in here this summer, and they just bought in. You know, and they came in here and they've gelled. That's why you've seen the success, you know, of us running the ball early in camp. I mean, you got guys like Chris Presley, Carl Jones, you know, Big Bear. They've been really grinding out, and they've been physical, and that's what we've been asking them to push themselves. Got a young guy in Sterling. You know, they're really pushing him as well. We're seeing some good things out of him. So, I mean, I think they're like the heart and soul of the offense right now.
You think they should move Nccu'S over to linebacker? I mean, as big as he is, he's as physical as a receiver I've seen in this league.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing for him, and that's something that we're going to need at that position. You know, we got a couple small guys out there, you know, and but Nccu'S gives us that physical aspect to the game, what we need at that position, and he's been showing it out here in the spring. We do perimeter blocking drill, and he's putting guys on the ground. He's been having a pretty good camp so far, so, you know, we're liking what we're seeing out of him, expecting real big things out of him this year.
And it seems like all around the offense has a lot of weapons. But I think, you know, you seeing the running backs too, being over the whole offense, you got to like what you're seeing out of Andre Clark, and he's not the only one. But that's got to make you and the rest of the offensive staff pretty excited about what we could put to the table here in the MEAC.
That's great when you got depth at that position. You know, guys are competing, like I said, on a day-to-day basis. You know, you can pretty much just pick one out of the group, and they've been making plays. It's been like that since we got here, since day one.
For you, with this offense, has it been much of an adjustment with the guys, or you feel like they've been pretty good at picking things up?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been putting the time in. That's the main thing. You know, the guys are, you know, been putting the time in the meeting rooms, film-wise. You know, as soon as we're done here, we get in the meeting rooms, watching the film, breaking it down. You know, they're seeing their mistakes. That's the main thing, seeing their mistakes and, you know, coming back out here and not making the same mistakes. You know, we're able to move forward when those type of things are happening. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been real pleased thus far, and all the guys are pretty much buying into what's going on.
You know, it's always interesting when it comes to coaching. It's such a fraternity, a brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know, we were talking before this interview how you and Coach Mack kind of knew each other. Kind of tell the Eagle fans a little bit about how you got here and how you know Coach Mack in a previous stop.
Yeah, me and Coach Mack was at Jackson State together in college. You know, he was a receiver. I was playing quarterback then. You know, and he ended up transferring. But it's funny, you know, he got into coaching, and we always just kept in touch. You know, we always, you know, call each other and, you know, bounce thoughts off each other in the coaching game. You know, that's what you want to do. You know, keep those relationships, stay in touch, and that's what we pretty much did. You know, and, you know, last year, well, this spring, he got a call from him. He said, you know, he's coming over here to Durham. You know, he asked me what I thought about it, you know. And he said, you know, think you can get the quarterbacks going for me. And I said, man, Mac, I'm with you. You know, that's all it took for me to hear, you know, because I think a lot of him. You know, he's a good coach. You know, players coach. The players love to play for him, you know, and I just wanted to be a part of that.
Well, I think the Eagle fans are certainly excited to have you a part of that as well. I think you are sort of the same build as far as the way you are with the guys, and it really seems like, again, you have your own way of coaching, and it's very interesting. You know, it seems like you may out here, I've noticed you don't have to yell and scream at them. Is that kind of your style? Just kind of tell people about, you know, how you like to coach these guys.
Well, like I said, while they're on the field, they're at work. You know, so it's hard to be at work and somebody's yelling at you all the time. You know, we'll make the corrections we get off the field in the meetings and all that, and that's what I tell them. Just come out here and let all the other things go and just go out here and make plays. If I'm out here at work and I'm standing over you, rah, 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 the whole time, you're not going to be able to produce, and that's what I tell them. You know, just play fast. Don't, you know, we will make the corrections when we come off the field, and that's what they've been doing for us on a day-to-day basis.
TC, we're glad to have you here at North Carolina Central. Looking forward to seeing what the offense produces here in 2014, and we'll talk to you as the season progresses.
All right, thanks.
That is TC Taylor. He's in charge of the quarterbacks here at North Carolina Central. Certainly glad you tuned in to another one-on-one with the assistant coaches here on the NCCU football staff.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.